Silly season continues in the NASCAR Xfinity Series as Harrison Burton will be returning to Gibbs Racing in 2021, and it looks like Travis Mack is going to be the crew chief for Daniel Suarez at Trackhouse Racing in 2021. What's going on, guys? It's Daniel, and welcome back to another video. We got a few NASCAR stories to discuss here today. Let's go ahead and just jump straight into it. The first story is the really sad story of this episode, as Alan Cavana released a message today saying that he will not be returning to Fox Sports to be a pit reporter in 2021. This is a really sad day for Fox Sports. I think Alan Cavana in general has done a really good job as a pit reporter in the NASCAR Truck Series. And it really is a shame that he is leaving. I think a lot of it is the fact that Fox is laying off multiple people. They have been downsizing over the last couple of years, and I think with COVID hitting the country, I think they've been downsizing. NBC's also been downsized as well. We know that Chris Sabota, she's not returning to NBC, and then we know Winston Kelly's not returning to MRN as well. So multiple people are not returning to their respective areas in 2020, which is a really great shame. I think Alan Cavana is a really, really good pit reporter. He does a fantastic job at Fox. It really is a shame that he's not returning next year to Fox Sports as a pit reporter. I'm wondering if they're going to bring just Jamie Little, Matt Yoakum to be the reporters for Fox Sports next year on Pit Road. That being said, there's certain people that are in their certain respective broadcasters that are leaving that should not be leaving, and there's respective people that are in there that are still returning that should not be returning. I'm talking about Rutledge Wood and Vince Walsh. Vince is just kind of boring. If Vince was more exciting, I really enjoy him. And also Rutledge Wood, I love Rutledge, but my God, man, sometimes he is extremely annoying to deal with. I hope Alan Cavana can go to NBC because I think he does a really good job as a pit reporter, and hopefully NBC does pick up Alan Cavana, and this is not the last time we see Alan Cavana because, man, Alan Cavana is such a good pit reporter, like I mentioned, and I hope he gets picked up by NBC or another good broadcaster in 2021. On to the next story. As I mentioned at the beginning of this episode, Travis Mack is going to be the crew chief for Daniel Suarez in the number 99 car at Trackhouse Racing in 2021. I am really, really excited about this. And this kind of is shocking, if we're going to be honest. I thought that he would be returning with Michael Annett next year as a crew chief. That being said, I am extremely excited that Travis Mack is going to be the crew chief for Daniel Suarez. I think he is a really, really good crew chief. For those of you who don't know, Travis Mack has been a crew chief at some point in Hendrick's development for quite some time. He was a crew chief in 2017 for 2 races as an intern for Dale Earnhardt Jr. when I believe Greg Weiss was serving a suspension. In 2018, would end up being the crew chief for Levine Family Racing with Casey Kane. They had a few good performances there, even though that team wasn't great. If we're going to be honest, Levine in 2018 wasn't as good as they were before they shut down in 2020. In 2019, moved over with Mike. I think even 2019 it was. He moved over with Michael Annett at the end of the year, and in 2019 moved over with them. And he put up some really, really strong performances of Michael Annett and drastically improved him. He made Michael Annett go from about a 13th to 15th place driver to about a 9th to 10th place driver, and was able to almost make the round of 8 in 2019. I don't remember if he made the round of 8 or not. I think he made the round of 12 but got eliminated, but he really helped Michael Annett also score his first career NASCAR Xfinity Series victory. In 2020, kind of stagnated, though, which wasn't great, but I think a lot of it was COVID-19 kind of hurting Michael Annett from improving, because I think Michael Annett could have improved, especially since the field is a lot weaker. I think Michael Annett could have improved with Travis Mack. I think that Trackhouse Racing is extremely coming together, and I think that they made a really great decision to bring over Travis Mack from Junior Motorsports and bring him over to Daniel Suarez to kind of have someone that he can learn off of and improve Daniel Suarez as a driver. I'm not saying Daniel Suarez is completely horrible at Gaunt Brothers Racing, but Daniel Suarez is never a contender. Yet again, Gaunt Brothers Racing was never really a championship caliber team or really a great team. I am extremely excited about this. I cannot wait to see what Travis Mack is going to do with Daniel Suarez next year. I think, like I said, the team is coming together. You have Justin Marks, who's been a racer in the past, who does have sponsorship, and also Daniel Suarez is coming over sponsorship as well, and they're going to be working together. Justin Marks, a former racer who probably knows about racing in general. Daniel Suarez, a pretty good driver, not a fantastic driver, but a pretty good driver who I think could bring some really strong runs well and overperform at Gaunt Brothers Racing at times in 2020, and a really good crew chief that is coming over with them. Now the question is, who's going to end up being the crew chief for Michael Annett next year? Because Michael Annett now doesn't have a crew chief. I have a feeling it's probably going to maybe be Kevin Mendering who's going to be the crew chief because he has worked with Junior Motorsports in the past. I don't remember if Kevin Mendering is out of the Hendrick stable or out of Hendrick Motorsports in general. I don't know if he's out of that team in general. I'm wondering if he's moving over another organization, or maybe they'll bring him over. But I really have a good feeling that Kevin Mendering might end up replacing going back to Junior Motorsports #1 program in 2021. But I am really excited to see what Travis Mack can do with Daniel Suarez in Trackhouse Racing in the 2021 season. On to the next story. Another silly season move took place in the NASCAR Xfinity Series as Harrison Burton is going to be returning to Joe Gibbs Racing in 2021, driving a 20 car, and is expected that Ben Beshore is probably going to be the crew chief for Harrison Burton in 2021. This is a really good move to re-sign Harrison Burton. Harrison Burton, especially at the end of this past season, was starting to come into his own. He ended up winning 2 of the last 3 races, and I believe was able to score 4 victories this year at Auto Club, Homestead, and then winning Martinsville and winning Texas. He was able to win 4 races, like I mentioned. He had a really, really strong second half of the year, and I really think Harrison Burton in the 2021 NASCAR Xfinity Series season, with the competition getting a little bit weaker with Chase Briscoe not being there, I really think Harrison Burton can really step it up to the plate and be a championship contender. I've been really high on Harrison Burton. I think he's the one driver at Joe Gibbs Racing. Brandon Jones has some good moments as well, but he was the one driver who really, really shined in 2020, in my opinion. He was the one driver I was really looking forward to watch 2020, and I think he lived up to his expectations. He wasn't great at KBM, but I think a lot of that was that KBM is not as good as they used to be, and I think that Harrison Burton wasn't used to the trucks. I think once he comes over to the car and drove that, I think that he was going to put up some really strong performances. I am really excited to see Harrison Burton back at Joe Gibbs next year. He's the one driver that I'm really excited to watch. I'm also excited to see what Daniel Hemrick can do next year at this organization. But yeah, you're going to have a really strong Joe Gibbs Racing lineup. You got Brandon Jones, who's gotten better over the last couple years. I'm not a big fan of Brandon Jones. I'm high on him. But you're going to have a really good driver in Brandon Jones going over to this organization, returning them next year, and there's a chance that maybe he'll move out the Cup in the future. You're going to have Harrison Burton, who I think is going to have a lot of momentum from the end of the year, where he was really, really strong at the end of the season. And I think that Harrison Burton can put up some strong performance. And like I said, you have Daniel Hemrick, who I think is a solid enough driver. And hopefully, Daniel Hemrick can win next year so we can finally see a backup. Because he promised a few years ago that if he would ever win a NASCAR top-tier race, that he would do backflip to Carl Legworth did back in the day. And it would bring some really good personality to Daniel Hemrick. Like I said, I think you're having pretty good core lineup at Joe Gibbs Racing next year. I think Joe Gibbs Racing in 2021, compared to what it had in 2020, I really think they're going to improve in 2021. I really think that this team in general, all 3 of them could really make the round of 8 next year. We'll have to see what happens in the 2021 NASCAR Xfinity Series season. But I am really excited to see what Harrison Burton can do. And hopefully, he can win at least 4 or 5 races next year. So I think that's his expectations, especially after winning 4 races as a rookie in 2020. I cannot wait to see what Harrison Burton is going to do in the 2021 season. And now we get into the final story of this episode. Chase Purdy is going to be driving full-time for GMS in 2021. I believe he will be driving the number 23 car. And I believe the crew chief, who was crew chief for Brett Moffitt this past year, will be the crew chief for him as well. Yeah, I'm going to say this here. I'm intrigued to see how Chase Purdy is going to do next year. I've never been really too high on him. That being said, I looked at his ARCA stats from 2018. He got 4 top 5s and 10 top 10s and finished 4th in the season overall in ARCA. I know ARCA field competition was not as strong as it was in the past, but still, that's not bad. He finished in the top 5 in the points with MDM before they split off, and he did not run a race last year in 2019. He returned for the first time since 2018 and 2020. And his stats at GMS were not great. He only had 1 top 10 in 7 starts and had a 21st place average finish. But I will give him the benefit of the doubt that he did not run, didn't have any practice to get used and acclimated to the cars, which I think really affected his performance. And I think if he did have practice, I think he really could have, gotten better as season got on. Like I said, he was able to get a top 10 this year, but that being said, I can't really say if he's going to be a championship contender because I really don't think he's going to be a championship contender. I definitely see him being a playoff contender next year, but I'm not really too high on Chase Purdy. Again, I looked at that ride, the 2014 last year. Sam Mayer was able to win a race as a rookie and ran some select races. And Chase Elliott was able to win. I know Chase Elliott's a Cup driver, but still, you had 2 drivers able to win. That being said, David Gravel didn't do great, and Greg Biffle didn't do great in their starts. So I can't really give him and hate on Chase Purdy. Again, I don't want this to turn into a Riley Hurst situation where Chase Purdy doesn't perform, but hopefully in 2021, he can really take some improvements next year and get better. Hopefully, he can turn into playoff contender. But again, I don't have too high hopes and expectations, but I'm not going to really crap on him because, again, he did COVID-19 really did affect him this past year. But that being said, I really hope and pray that Chase Purdy can come into this organization next year and really start winning races. I think his expectations are, I think he needs to win at least once or twice next year. And like I said, probably make the playoffs this year and hope all the GMS trucks make to the playoffs. They're all 4 of them because, again, the other 3 trucks, Tyler Ankrum, Sheldon Creed, and Zane Smith are all expected to make the playoffs and all have a really good shot at making the championship 4. So let's see what happens. But like I said, really other than Chase Purdy, I think you're going to have a really strong GMS lineup as well. So anyway, that is going to be for all the NASCAR news I have for you guys today. So anyway, I want to thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Turn notifications so you give me notified when a video does go live on my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Links are below for that. And comment with your thoughts on today's video. How excited are you that Travis Mack is going to be going to Trackhouse Racing in 2020, the crew chief for Daniel Suarez? Are you happy about that or not? Let me know in the comments below. And what do you think about Harrison Burton returning to Joe Gibbs Racing in 2021? How much do you think he improves? Do you think he becomes the championship favorite or not? Let me know in the comments below. Anyway, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's video, and I will see you guys next time. Make sure you do like these videos so YouTube can recommend these videos out to a lot of good creators. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care, everybody. Also, happy birthday, my dad. Thank you for being there for me. I really do appreciate it.